I didn't, and neither should you. My friends at QC Kinetics, they'll take care of you.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation. QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 937-936-0325. That's 937-936-0325. 937-936-0325.
The Reds have upset their fans. The Bengals and Browns are preparing for their top 10 draft picks. Ohio State is coming off a playoff season. Just another sports year in Ohio. Now back to 1410 ESPN Radio. Now back to the Justin Kinner Show right here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM.
All right, everybody, welcome in. The Justin Kinner Show, Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM. Happy Tuesday. All right. Reds have won 4 in a row. College basketball season is officially over. We're inching closer and closer to the NFL draft. Buckeye spring game coming up, a week from this Saturday? Things are rolling. Things are moving. But again, I'm Justin Kinner, 1410 ESPN Radio. So, first of all, let's kick off the show this way. I want to kick off the show, on a high note and give you a chance to win $1,000. It's our spring payout cash contest every hour starting at 8 a.m. every weekday. We of course give you a word that you then text into the station. So the winning word right now for this hour, text coin, COIN, COIN. Is the word to text to us to give yourself a chance to win $1,000. Text coin to 937-518-1410 and take advantage of that right there. So I can cross that one off the list. Text coin, COIN, 937-518-1410. All right, I want to open up with this college basketball last night. 69-63 the final. 1 seed Michigan over 2 seed UConn. 69-63 the final. And we all know, look, and this is funny too, because it is interesting. It was a weird dilemma I don't know how many of you out there do the whole, I'm a Buckeye fan, so I pull for the Big Ten. Obviously, that's a little bit of an issue because it's tough to pull for the Big Ten last night because you would have to pull for that team up north. And I don't think a lot of Buckeye fans, if any Buckeye fans, were doing that. I know I wasn't. But you do have to start asking yourself at times. I think that the hatred for the SEC has started to equal the hatred that you have for Michigan. Not quite. It's not surpassed it, but it's inching closer and closer to it. So I get a big kick out of that because I feel like if Illinois was in the national championship game, I think Buckeye fans around, more Buckeye fans than not, would be pulling for Illinois, would be pulling for the Big Ten, because a Big Ten national champion, not a Big Ten championship, but a Big Ten national champion ends the 26-year drought, which officially ended last night with Michigan winning it. And I think, that also takes a little bit of, the attention away from the SEC, or puts attention on the SEC for the wrong reasons, because the Big Ten continues to dominate. 3 straight out of college football, 3 state national champions out of college football coming from the Big Ten. Michigan to Ohio State to Indiana. Women's basketball, UCLA out of the Big Ten. It still sounds weird, but it doesn't matter because they're a Big Ten school. Women's basketball, UCLA, they win their first national championship in women's basketball. And then Michigan beats UConn last night to win their, not their first national championship, but the Big Ten's first national championship since 2000. So as you see, the Big Ten continue to dominate across the board. But I got a good kick out of that last night on social media, seeing how everybody, Buckeye fans especially, were coping with Michigan in the national championship game, coping with the fact that Michigan is not just in the national championship game, but they're one hell of a team. They're one hell of a team. And the one thing I'm going to ask Buckeye fans not to do, and I'm seeing a lot of Buckeye fans doing it, is, well, they had to buy their championship. That seems to be the ongoing theme with Michigan right now, is that they had to buy their championship. Well, until there's another way to win a national championship in the landscape of college athletics today, that you're not buying your championship, I don't understand what the hell you're doing. You guys say, oh, well, Michigan bought their national championship, as opposed to who? Who didn't? Who didn't buy their national championship? Indiana. This is the argument that Sean and I got into a few years ago. It's not a few years ago, a year ago, last football season, less than a year ago. Doesn't matter. The point is people tried to take away Michigan's success because they said, well, Indiana, Indiana up until last year, because Northwestern is now the losingest program in the history of college football, but Indiana was the losingest program in the history of college football up until last year. So for the losingest program in the history of college football to all of a sudden be a perennial powerhouse now in the championship conversation, it's a great feel-good story. They are the ultimate underdog and the ultimate success story. But what a lot of people tried to do with Indiana was say, well, is it really that much of a success story? Is it really that much of an underdog story? Is it really that much of a feel-good story when they've bought their success? They had to go out and buy the roster to be able to compete with the big boys. You mean you had to go out and buy the roster to compete with the big boys who buy their roster? It doesn't make any sense. I'm not here to poo-poo on Michigan's national championship last night. I'm a big Dusty May fan. I'm not a big Michigan fan, but I'm a big college basketball fan, and man, is that team fun to watch. I would have had a little bit more fun watching Hurley and UConn win their third national championship last night in the Hurley era, but that obviously didn't happen. But if you are out there and you are one of those people that is trying to poo-poo on Michigan for buying their national championship, you don't need to be mad at Michigan for that. You need to be mad at your team for not doing more to buy them a national championship. That's like, think about it in the NFL. Like if the Bengals make the playoffs this year, and I think there's a good chance that they will as long as, your Charmin Soft quarterback stays healthy. If your Charmin Soft quarterback stays healthy, they're in the playoffs this year, right? And you look at the money that they spent on the defense this year. So what if the Bengals make the playoffs? What if Kinner said, well, sure, Joe Burrow and the Bengals in the playoffs, but they had to buy their way to get there. They had to buy free agents to get there. Well, yeah, that's how this works. That's the whole purpose of free agency. You may not like that college football and basketball has turned into the open market with free agency, but that's the reality of it. That's kind of what this is. So, to me, we don't do that in pro sports. That's not true. I lied. Holy smokes. I sounded silly there. We do that with the Dodgers, right? Oh, my gosh. I don't respect their World Series because, look, they have Shohei Ohtani. They have Mookie Betts. They have Freddie Freeman. I mean, they push all that money. They defer all that money, and they had to go buy that World Series. Yes. We sound like hypocrites because on one show, we'll sit here and complain that the Reds don't spend any money. And then the next show, we'll spend pissed off because the Dodgers bought their World Series. You can't have it both ways. By complaining that the Dodgers buy their World Series, it sounds like we're praising the Reds who don't spend any money at all. And then when we complain about the Reds not spending any money, then how can you look at the Dodgers and be mad because the Dodgers are doing what we wish our team would do? And it's the same thing in college football. Michigan winning this national championship in college basketball. It's like when Ohio State won it in football a few years ago. What did everyone do? Well, man, you go out and buy Quinshon Judkins. You go out and buy Caleb Downs. I would hope that you can win a national championship, right? Well, yeah. If your team is not spending money, if your team is not buying a roster, you're in the wrong. Ohio State fans making fun of Michigan today for buying a national championship. That's called coping because you're pissed off that your team isn't spending that money. So that's the problem I have. I see a lot of people today trying to discredit what Michigan did last night. I am not going to discredit what Michigan did last night because Michigan did what I wish Ohio State would do. And that is, Michigan's a football school. Michigan puts a ton of money. Michigan has a win-at-all-cost mindset when it comes to college football, and yet they still found a way to spend $10 million plus, according to reports, on their roster. So when people say, well, Ohio State, they're not going to invest into college basketball because they're a football school, well, so is Michigan. And they invest into basketball as well. And Ohio State invests heavily into football, duh. But it doesn't mean that just because you're a football school that you don't invest anything into basketball because, well, Ohio State money does seem to grow on trees in Columbus, so there's really no excuse. I came across this report earlier today. And again, without there being any there's multiple reports out there that kind of estimate the spending of a lot of these Big Ten schools when it comes to NIL. Okay. I start combing through this. Okay. And this is Big Ten men's basketball NIL spending estimates. All right. Reported spending for specific programs varies significantly based on recruiting success and transfer portal activity. And that's how they've been able to put a lot of these together. So roughly Indiana, all right, their estimated basketball NIL roster spend is in that 12 to 16 mil range. Spending money doesn't guarantee success. Indiana's proof of that. Michigan spent in the range of $11 to $13 million. They're a member of the $10 million club for the 2025-2026 cycle, and that's money well spent. Sometimes programs spend it, like Kentucky spent a ton of money. By the way, Michigan spent $11.5 to $13 million. We're sitting here as Ohio State fans saying, man, that's a lot. That's more than double what Ohio State spent on their roster. But then you have Kentucky over in the SEC that spent, reports are saying, close to $20 million on their roster, and they're horrific. Well, horrific's a strong word, but you get the point. So Ohio State, Michigan in that 11 to 13 mil range when it comes to NIL. All right, how about where does Ohio State come into play here? Where does Ohio State fall into this as far as that's concerned? So Ohio State, on their estimated basketball NIL spend based on conference-wide allocation trends, all right, at this point, Ohio State would be put in the basketball-specific NIL budget. They would put them at approximately $4.8 to $6.2 million in that range. Michigan is spending double what Ohio State is. I'm not ripping Michigan. I am praising Michigan because they're a football school that still sees the importance and the urgency of leaning in to the basketball program. And Ohio State needs to get on board as well. Ohio State football, handing it off to basketball, I mean, they would dominate the sports calendar from the time that August arrives all the way until April, or at least way late into March. I mean, we're talking 8 to 9 months of the calendar year. We're talking Ohio State football and basketball dominating in their respective sports. That's what, Michigan was in the headlines for all the wrong reasons, but they were at the top of everyone's conversation point, for the Shamar Moore situation there, but it goes right into basketball. And here they are hoisting up a national championship for a season that started back in October. So I don't have an issue with Michigan whatsoever. They did not buy, or actually, I'm going to say this. I'm going to rephrase it. Michigan did buy their national championship last night, and that's what you're supposed to do. If you are one of those Buckeye fans that is sitting here today saying, man, Michigan, of course, I would hope they could buy a national championship with all the money they spent. Do you see how stupid that sounds? That's silly, Well, that's how this works. You got to spend money to make money. You have to spend money to give yourself a chance to win. It doesn't guarantee you that you're going to win, but what does guarantee that you won't win is not spending money. You will not advance to the second weekend of the NCAA tournament if you don't spend money. Michigan spent money. They advanced to the second weekend, the third weekend, and the fourth and final weekend. Michigan ended the Big Ten Michigan ended the Big Ten drought when it comes to national championships in college basketball. I'm Justin Kinner. It's the Justin Kinner Show, 1410 ESPN Radio. Something else I want to talk about when we come back. I see a lot of people. I want to stay on this topic a little longer. And then I want to move over to the Cincinnati Reds, who have won 4 straight now. Another 2-0 shutout win last night for the Cincinnati Reds. It's their third shutout win of the season. But when you add up all 3 of their shutout victories, they've outscored their opponent 6-0. And they've been keeping their opponents from scoring a lot of runs, but they've been doing a pretty good job of not scoring runs themselves. But either way, we'll get into the Reds more coming up here in just a moment. If you remember, again, it's our spring payout cash contest happening all month long. Every hour, a new word is given out that you will text to 937-518-1410. Text COIN. Get your phones out. Text COIN, COIN. Text COIN to 937-518-1410 for your chance to win $1,000. Dusty May, in year 2 at Michigan, wins a national championship. Buckeye fans, stop it. If you're one of the people that says, man, Ohio State made a huge mistake not hiring Dusty May. I love Dusty May. I would not mind him being Ohio State's coach one bit. But I'm here to tell you that Ohio State hiring Jake Diebler or sticking with Jake Diebler was not the problem. Dusty May would not have led Ohio State to a national championship in either of the first 2 seasons either. We'll discuss when we come back. It's the Justin Kinner Show, 1410 ESPN Radio.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 2689 Commons, Dayton.
ABS, TPMS, CVT, VVT. The auto industry loves its alphabet soup, but at Carroll Works Tire in Dayton, we keep it simple. The only acronym you need to remember is TIRE. Trust, integrity, reliability, expertise. That's what we deliver every day. Carroll Works Tire, keeping Dayton rolling with TIRE service you can count on. Find us online at C-W Tire or talk to a real human. 937-461-5441.
Progressive knows life takes you in many directions.
Bear right at exit 32, then begin to wonder why you never bought a fish tank. In 1.3 miles, you'll realize you've been mispronouncing epitome your whole life. At the roundabout, you will remember you said something at dinner you wish you hadn't, and will think about it for decades. You have arrived at your destination, but it turns out there really is no destination, and life just keeps going.
Wherever life takes you, protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
A multi-billion-dollar settlement is paying claims for up to 21 years. If you were exposed to weed killers at work or at home, your rights are affected. If you or your family has or had non-Hodgkin lymphoma, you could receive $6,000 to $165,000 or more. This settlement impacts you even if you're not sick, because this blood cancer can take 10 to 15 years to appear. If you stay in the settlement, you give up your right to sue. Learn more at weedkillerclass.com or call 888-403-8201. Paid for by the Roundup Settlement.
Your reputation matters. That's why so many landscape professionals choose Gravely. You can save up to 20% on Gravely commercial mowers during the Gravely Mow the Distance sales event starting April 9th. Visit your local Gravely dealer today.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Active Liver is available online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com. Or you can find it in stores at CVS, Meijer Grocery, Wegmans, and now Active Liver is available at your local GNC.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Trying to keep up with today's fast-changing digital landscape? With more ways to consume content than ever before, it is getting harder to reach your customers. You need more than just a presence. You need the experts at Conrex Digital. We craft websites that convert. We curate engaging content on social and block channels. We generate quality leads through Google and Meta. We dominate your competition on streaming TV. Bold marketing, real results. Conrex Digital makes it happen. Visit conrexdigital.com. That's conrexdigital.com.
Get ready to save big during the Hustler Spring Sales event from April 15th through May 31st. Save up to $350 off the Raptor Series and up to $550 off the Fast Track Series zero-turn mowers at participating Hustler dealers. Engineered and tested for long-lasting performance, Hustler mowers are designed to keep you mowing season after season. Visit Small Engine Service Pros on Route 235 in New Carlisle and shop the Hustler Spring Sales event today. Offer valid April 15th through May 31st, 2026, or while quantities last. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Cordell Transportation is looking for more weekend warriors. If you have a Class A CDL and would like to make some extra money casually driving weekend daytime routes, then Cordell Transportation is looking for you. Home daily, all loads round trip, no touch freight, and competitive pay. Full-time routes could become available if you're interested. Drive weekends at Cordell Transportation. Apply at CordellTransportation.com or call Ron at 937-277-7271. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Hey everybody, it's Stephen A. Smith, and everyone knows my feelings on Cowboys fans. But really, Justin Kenner, you're a Cowboys fan and a Browns fan? Good Lord have mercy. I don't know what the hell to do with y'all. I really don't. Exactly, Stephen A. He's been here for 10 years, and we're still trying to figure him out. The Justin Kenner Show, weekdays at 3 p.m., right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Now, back to the Justin Kenner Show, right here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM.
You know, it's been a while since Ohio State fans pissed me off, but here we are. Here we are. I mean, and it's kind of crazy that a fan base like Ohio State's, when it comes to college basketball, who, you know, it's funny. College basketball, it's Ohio State college basketball fans only care about college basketball 1 to 2 months of the year. And they're going to sit here and talk down to me. Y'all can go run with scissors. That's all I got to say. So earlier today, a tweet went out. From a guy like it wasn't even to go in Albert Breer. I'm a big Albert Breer fan. Albert Breer's been on the show. Okay, I like Albert Breer. But he put out a tweet earlier today that said, and this is Buckeye fans who are just being very, very dramatic, and that rarely happens. But Albert Breer says, passing on Dusty May 2 years ago was a colossal mistake. Maybe it was a mistake to pass. And first of all, I wanted Dusty May. I like Jake Diebler. Dusty May obviously would have been a better hire. Also, a few years ago, John Calipari, that same hiring cycle, wanted to be the head coach of the Ohio State Buckeyes. They passed up on him as well. But you know why it doesn't matter who the hell the coach is of Ohio State? Is because they don't invest into the program. And in today's college basketball landscape, if you don't invest into your program, it's not going to invest in you back. So I simply said, when I read that tweet, I had a huge problem with it. Passing on Dusty May 2 years ago was a colossal mistake because it was all a reaction to Michigan hoisting up the national championship trophy last night. Michigan, based on reports and estimates out there, spent anywhere between $11 to $13 million on their roster. Those same reports and estimates out there have Ohio State spending about $4.5. And you want to sit there and act like Dusty May was going to lead Ohio State to the national championship game. Like last night, like Ohio State would have been Ohio State and UConn in the national championship game last night if Dusty May was the head coach at Ohio State. You are a moron. That is not how college athletics works in today's landscape anymore. Dusty May is an amazing coach, and I would love him in Columbus. But Dusty May would not have taken Ohio State out of that first weekend. He just wouldn't have. He just wouldn't have. That roster is okay. It's solid. It's not great. Well, that's on Jake Diebler. You're right. Jake Diebler needs to go out and get better players. But he went out and got he got a roster with $4.5 million. Dusty May got a roster valued anywhere between 11 to 13 mil. And we're sitting here saying, well, how come Ohio State can't do that? I just told you. So I'm getting beat up on X right now, and Buckeye fans. Oh, how does this fool have a radio show? I don't know. Nobody listens. If you're listening now, you're one of probably 5. I mean, and I'm popping that number up a little bit. Like, I don't know how I have a radio show, but I got to tell you, I could be fired tomorrow, and I'll still have this same opinion, and it'll still be a smarter opinion than yours. I'm Justin Kinner. It's the Justin Kinner Show for now, 1410 ESPN Radio. It's okay all right, to be upset that Michigan won a national championship last night. What is not okay is to be uninformed and uneducated in your opinions that you give. Because I'm telling you right now, Dusty May would not mind him in Columbus. Telling you right now also, Dusty May would also be sitting at home last night, just like me and you, watching two other teams hoist up in that, or two other teams compete for a national championship last night. Ohio State not investing into their basketball program is that's the big mistake. Not hiring Dusty May from a few years ago, because I'm here to tell you, I don't know if Jake Diebler is a better coach than him or not, but I will say that if you give Jake Diebler a $11 to $13 million roster like our guy Dusty May at Michigan has, that's how you gauge whether or not he can coach. That's the problem with college athletics right now. We don't know who can coach and who can't coach. Let's just say Indiana was the same cesspool that it has been for centuries. Football, talking about right now. And let's say that they didn't invest. Let's say that Mark Cuban, all right, let's say that Mark Cuban did not invest into Indiana's football program, but they still hired Kurt Signetti. Would we still view Kurt Signetti as the best coach in college football right now, or a top 3 coach in college football right now? We would not. Why do we view him as a top 3 coach in college football right now? Because he won. And how did he win? Because they have money. There are really good coaches that we don't give the time of day to because they don't win and win at a high level. And a lot of it is not because their inability to recruit or their lack of, concepts with X's and O's. It's they just don't have the money to go out and compete with these schools. And it is sickening to talk about Ohio State actually not having money to go compete with those schools. They do. They just choose not to. And I don't want to hear that Ohio State's a football school. Michigan's a football school and just won a national championship in football 2 years ago and just won a national championship in basketball last night. That is such a lame excuse. I no longer want to hear that in college athletics anymore. You don't have to pick between the two. By the way, national championship last night, college basketball, Michigan Wolverines. They're still a football school. Dusty May and Michigan could win a national championship in college basketball again next year and repeat. Still a football school. Ohio State needs to invest into the basketball program more. And until then, it is not fair to sit there and try to compare Jake Diebler to Dusty May. Now, if Jake Diebler has a $10 to $12 million roster and his $10 to $12 million roster is not producing at the level of which Dusty May is, then we could sit here and say, oh yeah, the Buckeyes made a colossal mistake. But it's very easy to sit there and say that they made a colossal mistake with their hire when you guys act like they are both starting a race from the same starting block. They are not. I'm Justin Kinner. It's the Justin Kinner Show 14. A colossal mistake. Put Jake Diebler in Michigan, Dusty May in Columbus. Jake Diebler is taking Michigan out of that opening weekend every year probably as well. And Dusty May, very, very good coach. By the way, Ohio State was good this year. They beat a lot of really good teams this year. They were an NCAA tournament team this year. And they had a chance to win in advance in the opening round of the NCAA tournament. Like before, it was Jake Diebler sucks because he can't get him to the tournament. Then it was he gets him to the tournament. Jake Diebler sucks because he can't win a game in the tournament. You can't have it both ways. You guys keep moving the goalpost. Jake Diebler is not Mike Krzyzewski. Jake Diebler isn't Dan Hurley. Jake Diebler isn't Dusty May. But we can't see, he'll never be in a position to advance to be in those conversations until he's a head coach of a program that will invest into the program, which is why it's so vitally important to be as selective as possible when going to lead a program, because you want to invest everything you have of yourself into the program. How much of that program is going to invest back into you? And right now, Jake Diebler is investing a ton of himself into the program. The program's not investing itself back. And it sounds like that's going to be the case. It sounds like they're going to invest more into basketball. But what do you mean by more? Are they going to give them $7 to $8 million more so that they could be on the equal playing field, so they could be on the be on an equal spending field as some of the other top teams in the Big Ten? I think that's ridiculous to sit here and use today to bury Jake Diebler as if he had a $10 to $12 million budget. I'm not mad at the $10 to $12 million budget for Michigan. That's what you're supposed to do. I'm mad at Ohio State, not Jake Diebler. I'm mad at Ohio State. And I'm mad that people aren't smart enough to comprehend why you can't sit there and complain about Jake Diebler not getting out of the first round of the tournament and praise Dusty May and say, oh, well, if only we had Dusty May. Having Dusty May would be fine. Dusty May would not get you out of that opening weekend with the $4.5 million NIL budget when you are Ohio State. I mean, come on. All right, I'm Justin Kinner. It's the Justin Kinner Show, 1410 ESPN Radio. My overreacting, 937-518-1410. Text into the show. You can call into the show. I just don't think it's fair to try to hold Jake Diebler and Ohio State basketball to a Michigan standard when they spend more than double what Ohio State does. And I want to preface this one more time. That's not a shot at Michigan. They're doing what they're supposed to. They're spending. When Michigan fans were trying to take cheap shots at Ohio State years ago when they won the national championship in football, saying, oh, yeah, the best that money can buy. Yeah, I got annoyed with Michigan fans who were ripping Ohio State for buying their football championship because I thought that was an ignorant approach to have. If you're not spending money, then what the hell, what are you doing? Ohio State football did what they were supposed to and continues to do what they're supposed to. You got to spend as much money as you can to give yourself the best chance every year. It doesn't guarantee it, but it guarantees that you'll be in position to do it. Spending $4.5 million a year in college basketball does not guarantee anything. And that's the problem. So the roles are reversed. Michigan just spent a ton of money to go win a national championship in basketball, and now Ohio State fans are throwing shade their way. No, don't throw shade their way. Don't throw shade at Jake Diebler. Throw shade at Ross Bjork and Ohio State's athletic department because they're crying poor and they're not poor. They're a football school. So is Michigan. They just won a national championship. In fact, the football school last night beat the basketball school. UConn is a basketball school. Every dollar that they get goes to their basketball program. I know they have football, but it's all about basketball over there. They beat the basketball school last night. Good for Michigan. Good for Michigan. We'll step away for a few moments. 937-518-1410. It's the Justin Kinner Show. We'll be right back.
Harry Douglas here to tell you about Confetti Craze 5-Hour Energy. It tastes just like the best birthday cake ever. Vanilla, buttery, frosting vibes. It's basically a party in a bottle. And here's the best part. All cake, no sugar. And you know I love my cake. So I get that big birthday energy without any sugar guilt. The bottle's small, easy to toss in my bag, and perfect when I need a quick, tasty caffeine boost to cakeify my day. The Funfetti flavor is back on 5hourenergy.com or Amazon. Crack open a Confetti Craze 5-Hour Energy shot today.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our clients' portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Gem City Water. We're a local veteran-owned company that offers affordable reverse osmosis systems and installs them for free. Our water is tastier, healthier, and eco-friendlier. Visit gemcitywater.com for more info.
If
If you need new roofing, siding or gutters, skylights or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. See Lance Roofing and Siding at their new location at 6903 Dayton Springfield Road in Enid. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722. Online at lanceroofing.com.
You've said it before. This will only take a second. Just a quick glance. A fast reply. But on the road, seconds don't wait for you. They decide everything. Who stops, who doesn't, who makes it home. So next time your phone lights up, ask yourself, is this distraction worth a ticket or even a life? Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NetSide.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. An elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Some people reach a line and stop. Some hit a wall and turn around. Then there are the ones who cross the line, climb the wall, face obstacles, and turn them to their advantage. That's where we come in. We're the next rodeo. We design bold marketing that drives real growth. A creative partner for businesses ready to push forward beyond what's expected. The Next Rodeo. Learn more at thenextrodeo.com.
Hey, Cordell Transportation is now hiring experienced Class A CDL drivers, excellent pay, benefits, and a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Apply right now. Online at CordellTransportation.com. Do it right now. Driven to succeed.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-216-1635 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-216-1635. That's 800-216-1635. What do you have to lose? Call 800-216-1635. Again, 800-216-1635.
Spring is the perfect time to beautify your home or business with locally grown plants from A. Brown & Sons Nursery. Check out Brown's Nursery for everyday low prices on thousands of healthy and colorful high-quality shade trees, evergreens, flowering trees, and bushes, perennials, and ornamental grasses. Brown's grows landscape-sized hydrangeas, lilacs, butterfly bush, red buds, flowering crabs, magnolias, wisteria, wigula, spirea, forsythia, dogwood, fruit trees, and then there's western red cedar, arborvitae, boxwood, taxus, juniper, pines, and spruce. They have elms and tulip trees, sweet gums and oaks, black gum and hornbeams, willows and honey locusts, 30-plus varieties of maple, and so much more. Come see them at Brown's Nursery this weekend, Friday and Saturday 8 to 5, Sunday noon to 5. Landscape installation and landscape design are available too, just 4 miles off of I-70, exit 24 on Route 49. They're easy to find and so worth the trip. Make your corner of the world a whole lot greener with Brown's Nursery.
If you're a sports fan in the Miami Valley, 1410 ESPN Radio has you covered. You'll get Ohio State football and basketball, Reds baseball, Wright State hoops, and Dayton's only afternoon sports talk program, The Justin Kinner Show, weekdays at 3, right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Now, back to The Justin Kinner Show, right here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM.
All right, everybody, we welcome you back. Excuse me. The Big Ten had their 26-year drought snapped last night with Michigan winning the national championship in college basketball. 69-63, the final. Michigan over UConn. You had Dan Hurley for UConn, who was going for his third national championship in 4 years at UConn, of course. And then you had Dusty May, who was, took Florida Atlantic, FAU, to the Final Four a few years ago. And then, of course, in year 2 at Michigan, leads them to the Final Four. And there are Buckeye basketball fans out there who think, man, that could have been us last night if only the Buckeyes athletics department would have gone with Dusty May as opposed to Jake Diebler. Dusty May might very well probably is a better head coach than Jake Diebler. And now you're probably saying, well, Kenner, that's probably the most idiotic thing. I don't think anyone out there would take Jake Diebler over Dusty May. I guess my pushback to that is, it's Michigan basketball is Indiana football right now. And I guess I give a little pushback on that comparison only because, Michigan has always been a very good basketball program. Indiana was the losingest program in the history of college football last year until Northwestern, became that, and Indiana keeps winning. But Curt Cignetti takes over Indiana, and all of a sudden they start winning a lot of games. And they were last year's national champion, undefeated, beat Ohio State, beat Alabama, beat a lot of SEC teams, beat Miami in the national title game. I mean, they beat Oregon. They've beat Michigan in the first 2 years of Curt Cignetti. Like, this is it's an amazing program right now. Because they went out and got Curt Cignetti, and they went from the losingest program in the history of college football, and you add Cignetti, and then everything goes away. All their issues and deficiencies go away, right? Curt Cignetti is such a good coach that every issue that ever existed with Indiana football before just disappeared because that's how good Cignetti is. Correct? Right? Oh, no, that's not it. Now, Cignetti's a phenomenal coach. I mean, he is just freaking awesome. I love Cignetti. I'm a big Cignetti fan. But Cignetti is not why. Okay, he's why, but he's not why Indiana all of a sudden is a perennial powerhouse in college football. Money is. Money. You have to have the right driver. All right, you can have the fanciest, boat out there, but if you don't have the right captain, that boat ain't going to go anywhere. So they have the right captain. Duh. But Michigan basketball, it's not like, oh my gosh, that was just a horrendous program, and now all of a sudden you had Dusty May, and now here they are just winning these games. Dusty May is the ultimate captain, no doubt about it. But are you giving him a crappy ship, or are you giving him a luxurious ship? He got a luxurious ship because they spent a lot of money on that luxurious ship. So when you have a premier captain with the premier ship, it's going to be a great voyage. But you can have the ultimate captain and a crappy ship, and that is not going to be the ultimate voyage. Does it mean that captains is no good, or does that mean that the boat sucks? Indiana's boat is really good right now. They have a great ship, and they have a great captain. Michigan, that boat is really good right now. That's a nice boat, and they have a hell of a captain. From an Ohio State basketball perspective, their boat kind of sucks. It's an old beat-up pontoon that still runs, and they have a great captain that knows how to get it through choppy waters. But the boat sucks, and there's only so far you could take that boat. And you're going to look at the crappy boat that is Ohio State basketball with a very, very good captain. And you're going to look at Michigan with the super nice boat and a great captain. And then that boat's going to be a much greater ride, right? It's going to be a much better voyage. And we're going to sit there and say, man, if only that crappy boat had Dusty May to lead that crappy boat, everything would be fine. You see how ignorant that sounds? Because that's how Ohio State fans sound today. You need a good captain, yes. But you need to give that very good captain a really nice boat. And Ohio State went out and got what I think is a very solid captain. And I don't think we'll ever know how good of a captain he could be until you give him the same luxury ship that Dusty May and some of the others have. People are convinced last night, okay? Albert Breer, I like Albert Breer, tweeted out earlier today that, man, it was a colossal, Michigan wins the national championship last night, and it was a colossal mistake that Ohio State did not hire Dusty May. And it might be a colossal mistake. but we don't have enough information for us to signify or to actually, sit here and definitively say that it was a colossal mistake. Because there is a colossal mistake that is being made by Ohio State basketball, and it may not be the decision of the captain. It's the decision to not invest into the program. I talked about this earlier in the show. There are reports out there that Ohio State roughly spent anywhere to $4.5 to $5.5 million on their roster. Those same reports have Michigan spending in that $11.5 to $13 mil. That's not the same. That's more than double. So you have Michigan basketball with a nice ship and a nice captain. You're giving the captain a nice boat. Ohio State, they're not a $4.5 million roster. And I'm supposed to judge what he does with a $4.5 million roster. And I'm supposed to compare that to what he does with that roster. Yeah. Well, he needs to get better players. Like, you realize to get better players, you have to, and again, having a big budget doesn't guarantee you that you're going to get the better players, but it at least puts you on an equal spending ground to where then we could at least judge you fairly and equally. I hate that Ohio State basketball is not a priority. I grew up the biggest Buckeye fan in the world. I grew up when I was in high school. Thad Matta, loved him. Biggest Thad Matta fan out there. And I loved Daquan Cook from Dayton. I love that class. I love that Greg Oden, Michael Conley, Daquan Cook. I love that class. That was that's when I fell in love with Ohio State basketball, was during that stretch. And then Matta did it again. Continued to get some of the best players in the state of Ohio. And he would go out and he would get the John Diebler. He would go out and get the William Bufords and the Sullingers. And he'd get the Aaron Crafts of the world. And he got, he got the best talent in the state of Ohio, and didn't just get the best talent in the state of Ohio. He won with the best talent in the state of Ohio. He got to Final Fours. So I grew up a big Buckeye basketball fan and have been for a long, long time. So it pisses me off that as a Buckeye basketball fan, that the athletics department, who has all the money in the world, it's not like, oh man, we don't have money to give to basketball because we gave all the money to football. You could only give up to 20 mil anyways. All right. Like, there's just not enough money at Ohio State. Give me a break. Last night, a football school won a national championship in basketball, but Ohio State can't do it. Can't or won't. I'll raise my hand. I'll answer that question. Won't. It sounds like they're going to invest more, but $4.5 million is what reports are showing out there that Ohio State had for their basketball program. And we're mad because Jake Diebler didn't do what Dusty May did. And if only we had Dusty May. What do you think Dusty May is doing with the $4.5 million budget in the Big Ten, which the Big 12 is the best college basketball conference out there? We love the Big East. A lot of good conference. The Big Ten is they're second. And they're very, very good. That's a very good conference, college basketball. Big 12, Big 10. I mean, boom, boom, right there. And we're mad because Jake Diebler, in today's era of college basketball, with a $4.5 million budget, in the second, and that's not a slight, the second best college basketball conference in college basketball, we're mad because he didn't do more. I mean, I don't understand. I've spent all hour on this. My apologies. I'm just trying to wrap my head around how Buckeye fans could be this silly. And not all of you, just most of you, or at least the most of you that I've seen on this. Like, I'm on X right now. So this is what I tweeted out earlier today. Everyone acts like Dusty would have had OSU in the title game last night. Until Ohio State leans into their basketball program more financially, there is not a coach out there that could do anything different. That wasn't a slight at Dusty May. That was a slight at the athletics department, because it's true. And then you have this guy here on X that tweeted at me saying, if he can take Florida Atlantic to a Final Four, he can take Ohio State with its current budget. First of all, I mean, college basketball and college athletics has changed so much so quickly that year, I mean, we're talking about what, 4 years ago when he took Florida Atlantic to the national championship. Do you realize, like, I mean, that's how quickly this is. College basketball is not even close to being the same as what it was 4 years ago. It's not even the same sport anymore when you look at how rosters are constructed and put together. It's not the same thing. Florida Atlantic was one of the last good feel-good stories in the NCAA tournament when it comes to Cinderella teams making a run. And by the way, so let me get this straight, okay? Dusty May took Florida Atlantic to a Final Four. So imagine what he would do if he was at Ohio State. Isn't that what Indiana thought about Archie Miller? Man, if little old Archie Miller could do that at little old Dayton, imagine what he could do at Indiana in the Big Ten. We got that answer. In fact, we're also getting the second part to that answer of look what he could do at Rhode Island. Not a whole hell of a lot. I'm a Dusty May guy. I'm not here to, like, if you're just tuning in and catching some of this late, I'm not an anti-Dusty May guy. If Ohio State would have landed him years ago, I would have been thrilled. But if Ohio State would have landed him 2 years ago, they would not be where Michigan is today. Michigan, to their credit, invested into their program, which is why I got mad at Michigan fans years ago when they tried to rip Ohio State football for buying a national championship, because that's what you're supposed to do. So for everyone out there that's like, Michigan, you bought last night's national championship, I'm applauding them. Good. That's what you're supposed to do. And Michigan still isn't even spending some of the money that we're hearing from some of the bigger SEC schools. Not bigger, but the SEC, we're hearing $20 million is what Kentucky spent on their roster. We're hearing 11 to 13 in that range for Michigan. They're still not even spending into the hemisphere of what Kentucky is. So it doesn't guarantee you that you're going to have success, but you can't find a program that's had success that's not spending money. Spending money gives you a shot. Not spending money, it guarantees you won't have one. And Ohio State fans being stupid enough to think that we should be where Michigan's at, not when you're spending $4.5 to $5 million on a roster. But yeah, X is fun. Let's see. What else did I get on here? Oh, yeah, this guy. This guy said, what do you think Utah State and Iowa are spending? Because it's not close to Ohio State. Go for a walk. Okay, last I checked, Utah State and Iowa weren't playing last night either. He tells me to go for a walk. I'm going to tell him to go learn to read. That's not the point. The point is like, okay, so we're going to sit here and say Diebler stinks because he couldn't even get him out of the first weekend. I mean, what are we doing here? I don't think Diebler is Mike Krzyzewski by any means, but he's not what you guys are trying to paint him out to be. And even if they had Dusty May, they wouldn't do jack squat. Not because Dusty May can't coach. It's because you're not investing into the program. John Calipari wanted to lead the Buckeye basketball program 2 years ago in that same hiring cycle. And Ohio State, they knew that they didn't have the funds to invest properly into the pro. I've heard this from multiple sources at Ohio State. And I've shared this story on multiple occasions. This is how I know the Buckeye basketball program isn't a serious program, because Calipari wanted to lead Ohio State. And Ohio State knew that if Ryan Day needed a backup offensive lineman, if he needed a backup left guard, and Calipari needed a starting point guard, Ryan Day is going to get that backup left guard before Calipari will get a starting point guard when it comes to how the money is distributed over there. That's how I know they're not a serious program. And I've heard that from multiple sources over there that shared the exact same story, because that's how it's being explained over there. Sure, Ohio State wanted John Calipari, but what the hell's the point of going to get one of the best chefs out there if you're just going to give them crap ingredients to cook a meal? I'm all about the analogies today. But you don't go get a top chef and give them crap ingredients. And that's why they didn't go the Calipari route. And that's one reason why Dusty May looked at Ohio State and did not even have him at the top of he didn't have Ohio State at the top of his list. When you go read reports from back during that hiring cycle, Ohio State was not even his first or second choice during that time. Obviously, Michigan was. 937-518-1410. We have 5 minutes. Let's go to Shaw. Shaw, congrats. Your Wolverines win the national championship.
Yeah, I figured I'd give you a call in today. It took me by surprise, I'm not going to lie to you, because you rewind 3 weeks ago. They didn't look good in the Big Ten tournament at all. Yax was just coming off of a twisted ankle, the same ankle he actually twisted on Final Four night. But they just weren't looking good. So I actually had them losing in the Elite Eight to Tennessee, and then I had Arizona winning the whole thing. So I kind of was in the shot for my bracket, but that's neither here nor there. That's not what I called in for. I'm hearing what you're talking about, and this is why you're good at your job, because you're painting that line where you're not right and you're not wrong. You're right there in the middle, at least in my opinion, anyways. Yes, I agree. Ohio State definitely does need to invest more into the basketball program. I didn't realize the number was that low, but you're not going to win anything with $4.5 to $5.5 million. That's cold hard facts. And anybody that wants to sit here and argue otherwise, they don't understand the state of basketball and football right now. But on the other hand, yes, Dusty spent, I've heard, anywhere from 10.5 to the 14.5 that you've heard, which is either double or triple, however you want to look at the numbers of what Ohio State was. But really, the main of that money went to Yaxel, and the rest of that money was to a bunch of players that nobody really wanted. Like, if you think about it, Cadeau, the point guard, was getting ran out of North Carolina, and he was the one being blamed for all of North Carolina's problems. Morrow was being ran out of Westwood by Cronin, and they didn't want him. Illinois, the freshman Johnson, he left Illinois after only averaging about 8 minutes a game and averaging 6 to 8 points per game. So, I mean, it's not like they went and got a bunch of the top 20 guys in the portal last year. So, I mean, there was a lot of coaching, and he turned every single guy that I just talked about, turned Yaxel into a lottery pick, turned Cadeau, probably he's going to come back, probably be the starting point guard next year. If not, he may go pro, who knows, and he'll probably be a first or second round pick. Morrow's probably going to be a first round pick, and Johnson probably will be a late first, second round pick. So you got to have the coaching as well, as that's my point. I'm not necessarily with the Ohio State fans saying Diebler's not it. It's just, how long has he been there, Justin?
Same year, 2.5 technically, because they fired Holtman with a few games to go.
Right. Okay. So it's the same amount of time. And that's why I say you're right and you're not wrong, because you can't hold Ohio State to the same standard of a Purdue, of an Illinois, of a Michigan, of any a USC, a UCLA, any of those schools, Nebraska, Iowa. And you notice I'm mentioning the teams in the Big Ten, as that's who they're going against. You can't hold them in the same standard of those teams that made the tournament this year and wanting them to make huge runs when you're not paying that money. And you look at the Elite Eight, for instance. All those teams were the teams that spent the most money in the portal this year. So I know I'm taking my feet out from underneath of me with the Dusty May point, but I honestly, today's basketball, it's the epitome of you got to have both. You got to have the investment from the university, from the athletic department, but you got to have a coach that can develop too. Because if you don't have a coach that can develop, then you're not going to get those diamonds in the rough that you can spend. You're not spending to break the bank, but you're spending enough money to get those guys in there, and then you're turning them into pros or all conference players for what you will. I don't know. It's a difficult situation, but I definitely get what you're saying. More importantly, one last point. I do kind of feel bad for the center for UConn, Terrace Reed. He's played for two schools that have won 3 of the last 4 national championships.
Came out empty.
He didn't win any of them. So,
but
his first 2 years he was with Michigan when UConn won, and then obviously he transferred to UConn, and then we won this year. So 3 of the last 4, the 2 schools. I don't know, just weird stat, just weird how that works out. Question for you with the program that you're closest to. Any word of where those 2 guys are going, or are they gone for good? Is there any way they could come back?
TJ, so you're talking about Wright State, I'm assuming, right?
Right, of course, yeah.
So Wright State, of course, they win the regular season, they win the conference tournament. They're led by, I mean, this order that was passed by Trump, no stick to sports, about, with the rosters and NIL and everything, and, the transfer rule and all that stuff coming up. Man, if that rule was made just a year sooner, Wright State would be one of the biggest, beneficiaries to that, just because of that. Now, again, they would still be able to transfer out, but, TJ's already transferred once, but he's in the transfer portal. He's the one that has let, from what I've heard from multiple people over there, is he has let the coaches know that He's just going out to see what's out there. He's just kind of curious. He still wants to stay at Wright State, but he, if something comes and swoops him off his feet, he's definitely going to go. Cooper's as good as gone. There's no ill will there. That kid, I talked about this with Clark Kellogg during the tournament. I'm seeing so many really, really talented true freshmen across mid-major basketball, more than I think we've ever seen. And a lot of it, in my opinion, has to do with a lot of these guys being under-recruited. Michael Cooper did not get the recruitment that he should have gotten for the talent level of which he had. Wright State benefited from that. Their coaches deserve all the credit for that. So when these freshmen go to these mid-major schools and have breakout true freshman years, now they're getting the attention from the bigger schools that they didn't get a year previously when they were in high school. So he's as good as gone. I don't mean this poorly towards Wright State at all. That was just a talent that they were very fortunate to get. And it would have been nice to get him back for another year, but we know how that works. He's going to go get paid. I saw his NIL valuation, Michael Cooper, at about $500,000. You're not getting that at Wright State. You're just not. So TJ, I'll be curious, because he's not a great 3-point shooter. But man, can the kid play defense? But he's undersized, so I don't know if he'll go. I don't know. The A10 maybe they can offer him more than what Wright State can, but is it enough to where he's comfortable going there? So we'll see what ultimately happens when it's all said and done. But Wright State has to hit the portal well as well. Dayton's they're retaining a lot of their guys. And they have a couple of good high school pieces coming in, just like last year. They're the ones that are going to benefit greatly from more restrictions being put up on guys leaving. Because if Anthony Grant, can survive another season, which it seems like he can survive anything. I mean, him and meteorologists, they're the only people I know that cannot do their job correctly as often as they do and still remain employed. But, that roster he's put together is pretty talented. We'll see what happens if they can keep those guys for years, but who knows?
So bringing my two together, Cooper, I'll swing it in with Michigan. McKinney, who was a freshman, 5-star freshman from Flint, Michigan, on Michigan's championship roster this year. I did a lot of watching both schools, obviously, with Wright State being local and then me being a Michigan fan too. So I saw a lot of Cooper, saw a lot of McKinney. The difference between McKinney and Cooper, and I'm not joking to you, really the only difference is McKinney's taller and he's thicker. That's it. They're the same type of player. They can control a game off the dribble. They can dribble and drive. They can create whatever shot they want to go get. They can shoot from all over the gym. Defensively, they are going to get in your face and they're going to get in your grill and they're going to lock you down for the most part. Cooper gets in problems sometimes because he relies on his speed and his quickness so much that he cheats. And he winds up getting stuck in the middle and then he'll wind up giving some open shots. But that can be coached out of him. Coaches would love his quickness and athleticism and everything about it. No, I loved watching him play for Wright State. It kind of bums me out that you're saying he's good as gone. So, but
they kept the big kid, Callum Pickett, who won the conference rookie freshman of the year. They kept him. Mm-hmm. That's a huge win. I went and looked. I think the Horizon League freshman of the year, that might be the only freshman of the year in all the mid-major conferences outside of 2 that stayed. So Wright State's very fortunate that they got him to stay, and good for him for being willing to stay.
Yeah, very much so. And good for Wright State to be able to put an offer out there that he's willing enough to stay for. So, it goes hand in hand, like we were just talking about. But I don't want to take any more time. I know you're probably up against it for a commercial break, so I'll get off here. But, very happy that the boys won. Came out of nowhere for me. But at the end of the day, Michigan was the best program this year. And go Blue.
Nah, damn. I was trying to time it up to make sure he didn't get to say it, but he got to say it. But yeah, very heated day for me on social media arguing with Buckeye fans. It's been a while since I've gotten into an argument with Ohio State fans, but y'all are delusional, thinking that Dusty May would do here what he's doing at Michigan. He's doing at Michigan what we want him to do at Ohio, what we want done at Ohio State, but it doesn't matter who the coach is. If you don't invest into the program, you ain't getting that. I tell you what, I don't even, as good as a coach as Dusty May is, I don't even think he's the best coach in the Big Ten. If you want to talk about doing more with less, you look at what Nebraska did this year. They had never won an NCAA tournament game in program history, and they got to the Sweet 16 and made a huge run. Their budget's the same as Ohio State's. Their NIL valuation sitting at about $4.5 million, just like Ohio State's is. So people trying to say, oh man, Ohio State should be doing what Michigan's doing. No, you should be pissed off at looking at what Nebraska did And I think what Hoiberg did over there, doing more with less, is pretty phenomenal. And I'm not going to, Shaw saying that, Michigan, what they did was, he didn't see it coming or was a little surprised. They were picked second in the Big Ten in the preseason poll, saying that the majority of the money went to one player and everyone else were a bunch of cast-offs. I mean, you're not putting Michigan at the top of the Big Ten preseason poll in a very, very good college basketball conference if those guys weren't good. Those guys were super talented, and they spent money on that. That money had to go somewhere. He got about $3 or $4 million, that player that you're talking about. You're not putting $8 million. You're still putting $8 million everywhere else. Even if you take out the money that the one player at Michigan got, the remainder of that money is still more than double what Ohio State spent as far as that's concerned. And I'm not ripping Michigan for spending money. Like I said, Ohio State should be spending money. Speaking of teams that spend money, how about those Reds? Kind of funny, kind of not. Kind of joking, kind of not either. They've won 4 in a row. Their numbers to start the season are funny. They're an interesting team. They're an interesting, odd, strange, quirky team. But they've won 4 straight, and they're looking to go for a series win tonight in Game 2 against the Marlins. We'll talk about that when we come back. It's the Justin Kinner Show, 1410 ESPN Radio.
From posters and presentations to labels and loyalty cards, Staples has all the print to boost your brand. Shop now in-store or you can shop online. Staples, that was easy.
Do you want a job that is flexible, secure, and fun? It also offers excellent pay and is ranked as one of the best jobs in America, too. I'm talking about being a dental hygienist. And all you have to do is complete a 2-year program after high school. Visit ODA.org to learn more and to start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
KTH Parts Industries in St. Paris is now hiring and has increased the hourly wage of $22.48. That's right. KTH is looking for elite production associates, including press operators, overhead crane operators, and forklift operators. Apply today. KTH offers excellent benefits, including medical, dental, and 401k. KTH is a short drive from Bellefonte, Troy, Piqua, and Urbana. Upgrade your career and be valued by a company that really cares about you. Apply now at kth.net, an equal opportunity employer.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Spring is the perfect time to beautify your home or business with locally grown plants from A. Brown & Sons Nursery. Check out Brown's Nursery for everyday low prices on thousands of healthy and colorful high-quality shade trees, evergreens, flowering trees, and bushes, perennials, and ornamental grasses. Brown's grows landscape-sized hydrangeas, lilacs, butterfly bush, red buds, flowering crabs, magnolias, wisteria, wigula, spirea, forsythia, dogwood, fruit trees, and then there's western red cedar, arborvitae, boxwood, taxus, juniper, pines, and spruce. They have elms and tulip trees, sweet gums and oaks, black gum and hornbeams, willows and honey locusts, 30-plus varieties of maple, and so much more. Come see them at Brown's Nursery this weekend, Friday and Saturday 8 to 5, Sunday noon to 5. Landscape installation and landscape design are available too, just 4 miles off of I-70, exit 24 on Route 49. They're easy to find and so worth the trip. Make your corner of the world a whole lot greener with Brown's Nursery.
A is for ABS, B is for BCM, C is for CBT, D is for, don't worry, we're not going to quiz you, because at Carroll Works Tire, we know the auto industry is full of acronyms. But here's the one that matters the most, TIRE. Trust, integrity, reliability, expertise. Carroll Works Tire, keeping Dayton rolling from A to Z. Find us online at c-wtire.com or talk to a real human at 937-461-5441.
Hey, Cordell Transportation is now hiring experienced Class A CDL drivers, excellent pay, benefits, and a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Apply right now online at CordellTransportation.com. Do it right now. Driven to succeed.
Spring is just around the corner, and big savings are in full bloom at Menards. Visit Menards Garden Center for everything you need to get your garden growing. Choose from hundreds of beautiful, colorful flowers, lush trees and shrubs, and everything in between. Menards Garden Center is back in bloom. Stop in today to get your garden on. Check out Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
The forecast has a freeze warning in effect for tonight with a low of 31. Sunny and 68 tomorrow. Sunshine Thursday and 76. Rick Shrimp, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Cordell Transportation is looking for more weekend warriors. If you have a Class A CDL and would like to make some extra money casually driving weekend daytime routes, then Cordell Transportation is looking for you. Home daily, all loads round trip, no touch freight, and competitive pay. Full-time routes could become available if you're interested. Drive weekends at Cordell Transportation. Apply at CordellTransportation.com or call Ron at 937-277-7271. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Need an online notary? We can help. Hi, this is Mike Foley, your Montgomery County Clerk of Courts. We can notarize your documents remotely at no charge to you. All you need is a smartphone or laptop. Visit courthouse2u.com for more info.
Turn your tax refund into new tile at Menards. Make this the year you check that project off the list. Some things never go out of style, like tile from Mohawk. You can count on the durability, easy maintenance, and timeless beauty of tile. We carry a great selection of over 350 ceramic, porcelain, mosaic, and glass tiles to choose from. Head into Menards and let our helpful team get you everything you need for your tile project today.
Save big money at Menards.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I need a little range, step to the range.
There's a new flavor in town, the Jalapeno Ranch Club at Chick-fil-A. With that juicy Chick-fil-A original spicy or grilled chicken, a buttermilk ranch bun, candied bacon, pepper jack cheese, and jalapeno ranch sauce. It's got big ranch vibes with a little heat. Chick-fil-A's new Jalapeno Ranch Club, available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 2689 Commons, Dayton.
When traffic slows you down, pain can make the ride feel even longer. With just one pill, Aleve provides up to 12 hours of pain relief, so you can put pain in the rear view. Use as directed.
The Reds are on the radio.
Every hit, every strikeout, every home run.
It is gone into the second deck and left. A 2-run home run by Eugenio Suarez.
Cincinnati Reds baseball. Catch every game right here on Dayton's home of the Reds, 1410 ESPN Radio. Now, back to the Justin Kinner Show, right here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM.
1410 Wing AM, Dayton's radio home for Cincinnati Reds baseball. It's another hour and another chance to win $1,000. Head to you do not have to head to wingam.com. Sorry, you just need to get your phones out and text GIFT, GIFT. Text GIFT to 937-518-1410. We're giving away $1,000 every day, every weekday from now through April, from now through the end of April. And when you hear the winning word that's given out each hour, you text it to 937-518-1410. It's our ESPN Dayton Spring Payout. And again, we got $20,000 to give away throughout the month. So we said we'll give away $1,000 a day. Text GIFT to 937-518-1410 and be listening for a winning word each and every hour starting at 8 a.m. Monday through Friday. So 937-518-1410. Text GIFT for your chance to win $1,000. How about those Red Legs, winners of 4 straight now? Winners of 4 straight, and throughout this 4-game win streak, they have shut out. They have 2 shutout wins in this 4-game win streak. In fact, they have 3 shutout wins on the season. They are 7-3. They've won 4 straight. They swept the Rangers and have a chance to win the series against the Marlins here tonight. Remember, they won the Boston Red Sox series to kick off the season. They dropped 2-3 against their division, I don't want to say rival, but a division foe in the Pirates. They lost 8-3 in games 2 and 3. And it looks like the pitching was getting beat up. The offense wasn't there. Now, the offense still doesn't look like it's there, but the pitching sure as hell is. And the Reds are a game behind Milwaukee in the Central. So there you go. But last night, a 2-0 win against the Marlins. The Reds are weird, right now. Like, they have 3 wins of, all 3 of their shutout wins this season are by the score of 2-0. They beat the Pirates in game 1, 2-0. They beat the Rangers in game 2, 2-0. And then they win last night 2-0 at the Marlins. Ellie De La Cruz just continues to cruise right now. Ellie's playing really good baseball. The Reds, Ellie De La Cruz hitting 268 right now. Excuse me, 268 right now. Ellie had 2 more hits last night, and that's back-to-back games of, multiple hits, back-to-back games of scoring a run, back-to-back games of an RBI. I mean, last night, 2 for 4 with the run and an extra base hit. No strikeouts last night. It's the first game for Ellie De La Cruz to have 0 strikeouts and no errors. In fact, he hasn't committed an error all season. In fact, the Cincinnati Reds have not committed an error all season. Ellie De La Cruz is playing really good baseball right now. All right, he's hitting 268, 3 home runs, 5 RBIs. I mean, he has 6 extra base hits on the season. Ellie De La Cruz is doing a little bit of everything and really helping the Reds get off to this hot start. I was critical of Ellie early on. The strikeout numbers do frustrate me and will continue to frustrate me, but you're going to get those high strikeout numbers with him. But the fact that he's hitting for power and he's doing a little bit of everything. This is what I love about Ellie. This is where I'm starting to see the value in Ellie far more than just a power hitter. Like, for the longest time, if you were a power hitter, you were going to get all the money thrown at you. I find Ellie to be so valuable because he can lead your team in home runs. He could lead your team in extra base hits. He could lead your team in RBIs, runs scored, stolen bases, extra bases. He could do it. He could do a little of everything, and a little of everything at such a high level. And this is why the reason I was critical of Ellie is because I know that he's capable of playing like this more consistently. And it's a small sample size. Of course, they're 10 games in, but my goodness, a 7-3 start for the Reds. Ellie playing lights out. He's playing out of his mind right now. Sal Stewart rookie sensation, has got a hit in every game so far, hitting .353. All right, he had another hit last night, had another RBI. He drove in Ellie De La Cruz. Suarez last night goes 0 for 4. He's hitting .211. He has multiple home runs on the season. He does lead the team in RBIs. But Suarez hitting .211, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs. But was 0 for 4 last night. Didn't really do anything for the Reds as far as that goes. The guy that I'm starting to feel really good about that is starting to kind of heat up is Tyler Stevenson. Tyler Stevenson last night goes 1 for 3 with the home run. And most importantly, I ripped him after that Pirates series. But the bottom line is he has 2 home runs right now, back-to-back games. But yeah, he's hitting 167, but he has 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, all of those coming in the last 3 games. He's starting to heat up. And the thing is, I know the Reds only scored 2 runs last night, but this is why once they start to get it together and everyone kind of start heating up roughly around the same time, TJ Friedel, phenomenal last night. That's the TJ Friedel that I love. TJ Friedel was 2 for 4 last night. All right, he did his job as the setup guy, as the leadoff hitter. That's what you want. But again, 11 at-bats for the top third of the order last night. You get 4 hits. You get 4 hits from those 11 at-bats in the top third of the order. That's what you have to do to be an effective team. This is not a very efficient offensive team. This is not a good offensive team. But they're effective when they need to be, and when you have a dominant pitching staff like this. I mean, what a performance last night we got to see from Brandon Williamson, who gives up no runs on 3 hits. He struck out 4 batters, but we saw Burke close out that 7th inning. We saw Santillan for the 8th inning, the setup guy, and then we saw Emilio Pagan come in and pick up his 4th save of the season. Emilio Pagan with 4 saves this season. Emilio Pagan has more saves than any other closer in baseball right now. You know what's funny is that for years, we started to see the Reds kind of trend into that closer by committee. The Reds have been very fortunate in the last 10 years to have some of the best closers in baseball, whether it was Aroldis Chapman, whether it's Iglesias, and now you have Emilio Pagan. The Reds have always had a very good back end of the bullpen guy. They have another one with Emilio Pagan. You went out in the offseason. We knew that this team had a limited budget, and it kind of scared me because they said they had about $20 million to spend once they got all their arbitration players taken care of. And then right out of the gate, they come out and say, hey, Emilio Pagan, we are going to go. We're going to give him a 2-year, $20 million contract, $10 million per. And I'm like, man, that's a big-time gamble for a team that has a limited budget with so many holes to fill. But it is refreshing. This is what I love about Terry Francona. And we talked about it a little bit yesterday. He's still that old school mind. There's so many teams throughout baseball that have that closer by committee mentality. They have multiple guys who can go out there and get you, a close or get you a save. And the Reds do as well. Santillan can go out there and get you a save if you need it, whatever. But I do like the roles. I like designated roles for guys. And Emilio Pagan, you gave him $10 million. You gave him a 2-year, $20 million deal. You didn't give him $10 million to go be a part of a closer by committee. You told him, hey, we're giving you $10 million. You're going to go out there and you're going to go be the horse that closes out these games. I'm glad that they did this with Emilio Pagan because I think that the Emilio Pagan should have been the sign to all of us that they were not intending to truly improve this lineup. Emilio Pagan, the reason that they invested so heavily into him is because they knew if they were going to win games this year, they were going to have to win tight, close games, which is exactly what the Reds have done all season, and we're only 10 games in. There's going to be a lot of nail biters. There's going to be, if you have high blood pressure, this team is definitely going to test that. But the fact that Emilio Pagan already with 4 saves to lead all of Major League Baseball, we're only 10 games in. I mean, last night picks up a save. I mean, if you look at this, I mean, the Reds throughout this 4-game win streak, all 4 of these wins have been by 2 runs or less. They won by 2 runs last night, a run in Game 3 against the Rangers, 2 runs in Game 2. They won by 2 runs in Game 3. Their last win before that against the Pirates, they won by 2. Every single one of their wins has been by 2 runs or less. The save opportunities for Emilio Pagan are going to be there. They paid him a ton of money in the offseason, And I thought it was strange, everyone, because I love Emilio Pagan, and I told him this at Reds Fest. I was like, I was so thrilled to see that they were bringing him back, because I thought when the season ended, I thought we had seen the last of Emilio Pagan in a Reds jersey. But I should have known when the Reds said, hey, we have about $20 million to spend. We're not going to surpass what we spent last year, which basically signaled to us they were only going to spend about 20. The fact that 10 of that 20 went to a closer, when they already had some very good pieces that they could have experimented with closing in the back end, they were telling him, you're our horse. We're going to work you, and you're going to have plenty of save opportunities. And that's what we've seen with that pitching staff, with that rotation, with the guys they have in middle relief, and a lineup that is tough to watch. Emilio Pagan is going to, when we talk about potential all-stars for the Reds, he's going to be an all-star this year, barring he stays healthy. Ellie's going to be an all-star. Suarez, he hits out of this funk or whatever, he's going to be an all-star. The Reds are going to have a handful of potential all-stars this year, and a lot of them are going to come on that pitching side. It could be an Andrew Abbott, who's on the mound tonight. Chase Burns, I think, is going to be an all-star. All right, you're not going to have Hunter Green, who won't be here till after the All-Star break, of course, but I think you could have a Chase Burns. I think you could have Emilio Pagan, who I think is going to lead Major League Baseball in saves. You're going to have Ellie De La Cruz in the mix right there. By the way, Sal Stewart, let's not count Sal Stewart out from being involved, and not just the futures game, but talking, of course, about the All-Star game as far as that goes. So we'll see what happens. But the Reds, their fourth straight win last night, they're 7-3 to start. All 7 of their wins by 2 runs or less. Adam, what up, Adam? Hope you're well. Adam's live on the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page. He messages into the show. He says, you can't take Ellie out of the lineup, but shouldn't the Reds consider putting him on a pitch count? Derek Jeter talks about running out of gas his first few years in MLB, and the Reds are counting on Ellie to carry them this season and beyond. I think that the Reds mishandled him. I'm back and forth on this. I have an old school mindset when it comes to this. The kid is super young. You're playing a kid's sport. Who am I to say that Derek Jeter is wrong about running out of gas at the end of the season? But Ellie is a way better athlete than Derek Jeter. I'm not saying way better player, but way better athlete. I think that he can handle it. He does deserve, based on how baseball operates today, he deserves some rest days. And I'm assuming the lineup is out. I'm assuming he's not getting a rest day today. So we'll find out. Let me type this in and see what we have rolling for the Reds to see if they put that lineup out. They did put the lineup out, and De La Cruz is right there hitting third. So, yeah, he's in the lineup. Suarez in the lineup tonight. Stevenson, who's been swinging a hot bat. You have Noelvi Marte's in right field tonight as well. So there you go. But TJ Friedl back in that leadoff spot tonight. And he had a very good game yesterday. We'll see if they can keep that going. 6:40, the first pitch, 6:10. Pregame coverage will begin for you right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Adam, to answer your question, yes, I don't like it, but yes, he should technically be on a innings count, if you will, or whatever. Not an innings count. I don't like that. But they do need to implement more rest days in there. But right now, we're 10 games into the season. I don't want to hear about rest days 10 games into the season. I don't think we're there yet. But I was frustrated last year with the Reds handling of Ellie De La Cruz, because they came out trying to cover their asses and trying to protect him. And they made themselves look foolish, because they came out and said, hey, Ellie did struggle last year, but he was playing through a quad injury. Then why the hell did you play him 158 games? If Ellie was truly struggling last year due to a quad injury, why were you throwing him out in that lineup every single day? 158 games he played in last year with that quad injury. Yeah, there's some days you got to protect him from himself. And I thought that the Reds were selfish because, hey, I get it. He gives them their best chance to win. But you also went out to get Eugenio Suarez. There has to be other guys that are going to step up and help generate runs. We're nowhere close to resting Ellie right now. I don't want to have that conversation. And, when it's April 7th. But yes, he does need more rest throughout the season as far as that goes. Adam says, no doubt, Ellie is one of the best athletes Major League Baseball has had in a very long time. They should rest him, but not now. I don't think we're even close to being in a position. Keep in mind, the Reds had opening day. This is how it always is, but they had opening day on a Thursday, off Friday, played Saturday, Sunday, and they played through Wednesday, and then had a second off day a week later on that Thursday. He's already had 2 off days in the first 10 games. LA does not need a rest day. We're not even close to that. And Adam, I don't think you're suggesting that for right now. At least I don't think. But yes, I do think he needs more off days sprinkled in, more than 4. He played in all but 4 games last year. And one of the games that he didn't play in was because he lost a family member and was out of town, but he missed only 1 game for that. He should have missed a week. But nonetheless, Reds fans, how we feeling? 937-518-1410. The Reds are 7-3. All 7 of their wins have come by 2 runs or less. That's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Heck, I mean, I think even of the losses, I mean, they lost opening day 3-0. Yeah, all their losses have been by 3 or more runs. All their wins have been by 2 or less, including the 2-0 shutout win in Game 1 against the Marlins last night. With Andrew Abbott on the mound tonight, we'll see if they can keep it going. I told you the lineup is out. I'll give you the lineup when we come back. We'll continue talking Reds. I got some Bengals for you as well. It's the Justin Kinner Show, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Hey there, I'm Brad. I'm about to win the Tuesday Night Bowling League Championship. I'm also a highway worker for the Ohio Department of Transportation. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can bowl the winning strike with my buddies.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. Remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Brought to you by ODOT, USDOT, NHTSA, and ODPS.
Upgrade to a new quality bath remodel in less time with minimal inconvenience and for less money with Bath Creations in as little as 2 days. We do it right. There are a lot of others boasting about bath remodels these days. Well, Bath Creations' expert craftsmanship and customer service speaks for itself. Plus, all first responders, veterans, and active military will save an additional $500 off your purchase. Visit our beautiful showroom at 8741 North Kimmel Road in Clayton or at mybathcreations.com and upgrade your new bath today.
I'm Roger from Columbus. I've lived in Ohio all my life. Owning your home is a cornerstone of the American dream. But for seniors, property taxes keep going up and are costing us everything we've worked for. They're even making it impossible for my grandkids to afford their first homes. Vivek Ramaswamy believes when you own your home, you're in charge. As governor, he'll roll back property taxes to levels from before the end of the pandemic. It's a practical plan that will put thousands of dollars back in your pocket next year while maintaining strong education and dependable police and fire. Ohio's politicians have ignored this crisis for too long. But Vivek Ramaswamy isn't a politician. He's an entrepreneur, and he's ready to fight for you. Ohio needs a leader who makes your life more affordable. That's Vivek Ramaswamy.
Lower costs, bigger paychecks, better schools. Vivek Ramaswamy for governor.
Paid for by Vivek Ramaswamy and Rob McCauley for Ohio.
Raise your hand if you're excited about feeling older faster than you should. No takers? Yeah, didn't think so. Ongoing pain makes you feel older than you are. But here's the good news. QC Kinetic patients here in Dayton are getting relief, feeling younger, jumping back into life full speed, and it didn't happen in an operating room. The QC Kinetic medical professionals use the latest regenerative treatments backed by real science, treatments that take the tiny, powerful healing tools inside your body, concentrate them right where you need relief. That's how Mike is training for a marathon instead of giving up running. Patrick's golf game is on fire again. Kathy walked around Disney with her grandkids. No pain. All real QC Kinetic patients. The sooner you start treatment, the sooner inflammation eases and the sooner joint damage slows down. Because no one signs up for feeling older faster. Find out if you're a candidate for QC Kinetic regenerative treatments. Your visit and consultation is free. 937-936-0325. That's 937-936-0325.
Hey, Cordell Transportation is now hiring experienced Class A CDL drivers, excellent pay, benefits, and a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Apply right now online at CordellTransportation.com. Do it right now. Driven to succeed.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-216-1635 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-216-1635. That's 800-216-1635. What do you have to lose? Call 800-216-1635. Again, 800-216-1635.
Choose one of Wendy's new Biggie deals. For a pretty Biggie deal, gotta be Wendy's. U.S. price and participation may vary.
When you see a Gravely mowing the grass, you're looking at over 100 years of ingenuity in action. You're seeing a rugged, durable machine professional lawn service companies have relied on for generations. Or maybe you see a homeowner who demands the best, cutting their own lawn like the pros, whether mowing or on a trailer between jobs. When you see a Gravely, you're seeing greatness at work. Take your lawn mowing up a notch with a Gravely. See the full line at your local dealer.
Hey everybody, it's Stephen A. Smith, and everyone knows my feelings on Cowboys fans. But really, Justin Kenner, you're a Cowboys fan and a Browns fan? Good Lord have mercy. I don't know what the hell to do with y'all. I really don't.
Exactly, Stephen A. He's been here for 10 years, and we're still trying to figure him out. The Justin Kenner Show, weekdays at 3 p.m., right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Now, back to the Justin Kenner Show, right here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM.
1410 Wing AM, Dayton's radio home for Cincinnati Reds baseball. The Reds have won 4 straight, and they'd like to keep it going tonight. Game 2 against the Marlins with Andrew Abbott on the mound. That's a 6:40 first pitch. 6:10 pregame coverage begins right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. So we have the lineup for you. As far as the Reds are concerned, TJ Friedl will bat first and get the start in center field. Batting second and playing at second is Matt McClain. At shortstop, batting third, Ellie De La Cruz. Batting cleanup and at first base is Sal Stewart. The designated hitter, Eugenio Suarez, is batting fifth, and in left field, batting sixth, is Spencer Steer. Behind home plate tonight and catching is Tyler Stevenson. He's batting seventh, and in right field, batting eighth, will be Noelvi Marte. And batting ninth and at third base will be, of course, Ke'Bryan Hayes. Andrew Abbott will take the mound. One more time, your lineup tonight. Friedl, McClain, De La Cruz, your 1, 2, and 3 hitters. 4, 5, and 6 belong to Stewart, Suarez, and Spencer Steer. And then 7, 8, and 9, Stevenson, Marte, and Hayes. That rounds out your Reds lineup for game 2 here tonight against the Marlins. One thing that really popped off the page to me as we were talking about a little bit ago was, of course, Emilio Pagan. Emilio Pagan last night came in and he picked up his 4th save of the season. And his 4th save of the season puts him at the top of Major League Baseball. He's tied for first. And we're only 10 games in. And the fact that Emilio Pagan already has 4 saves the first 10 games of the season is pretty remarkable. But it's also, I think, a sign of things to come that, this team, they're going to win a lot of games this year, but they're going to be in a lot of close games. And he's going to have a ton of opportunities to go out there and get those saves. They're 7-3. All 7 of their wins this season have come by 2 runs or less. They're not getting enough run support to go out there and win 8-3. 9-2, 9-4. They're going to win 4-2, 4-3. And I don't know where the hell I'm giving them 4 runs from. I mean, this is a team that, a high-scoring night is a 4-run night. In fact, they haven't scored. The only time they've scored 4 more runs this season is game 2 against the Red Sox and game 1 against the Rangers. They've only scored 4 more runs twice this season. They have 3 2-0 wins this year. They only have 2 games where they've scored more than 4 runs. That's a problem. This team Cannot generate runs. But somehow, some way, they are 7-3, and that somehow, some way is their pitching. Their pitching has been phenomenal. As we talked about on yesterday's show, their defense has been phenomenal. They are still the only team in baseball remaining that has yet to commit an error. Not bad. When you have as dominating of a pitching staff as the Reds do and a defense that is not making mistakes behind that pitching staff, it's not a surprise that they are 7-3. It's not a surprise that they are 7-3. So Emilio Pagan is interesting to me because, and I shared this story a little bit ago, and you can clip this. Emilio Pagan, when the Reds signed him in the offseason, they signed him to a 2-year, $20 million deal. And I thought that was interesting, not because I didn't think he was worth it. I thought he was more than worth it. I just didn't know if he was worth it for the Reds, who had a limited spend in the offseason. They came out and said that they were not, that their payroll was going to be relatively the same as what it was the previous season. So when you started to do the math and you started to look at the arbitration players who were due for raises, once you attribute those raises to those particular players, there would be roughly about $20 million left to spend when you lose the likes of like Nick Martinez and some of the others that they let go, right? And the fact that they came out so quickly and got a 2-year, $20 million deal done with Emilio Pagan, 10 of the 20 available this offseason goes to him. That should have been our first sign right there that the Reds front office was like, look, we know we're going to be in a lot of close games this year because we know our offense is not going to produce a lot of runs, which means if we do win games this year, we have to have a very, reliable back end of the bullpen closer. And that's what they have in Emilio Pagan. They are using him like a traditional closer. That is his role. That is his designated assignment every night. And he has those opportunities. Like I said, all 7 of their wins, he should have more than 4 saves. All 7 of their wins have been by 2 runs or less. 7 wins, 7 save opportunities, and he's responsible for 4 of them. Not bad. Leads Major League Baseball in saves with 4, and we're 10 games in. And we're going to see that a lot throughout the season. The Reds tonight have Andrew Abbott on the mound. And we'll see what ultimately happens if the Reds can score more than 2 runs tonight. But Tyler Stephenson's swinging a hot bat. Ellie De La Cruz playing really, really good baseball. He seems to be really kind of getting into a groove as far as that's concerned. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. Major League Baseball implemented the ABS challenge system for this season. It's the inaugural season for this. And it allows players to challenge a ball or a strike made by the plate umpire. Each team receives 2 challenges to start the game, and only batters, pitchers, and catchers can challenge a call. If a team wins a challenge, it can keep challenging. If a team challenges incorrectly twice, it loses its challenges for the remainder of the game. We're 10 games in, and there is now enough accruing data throughout Major League Baseball, 10 games in, to kind of get a good feel for how it's going. For some teams are really bad at this. The Reds are actually really good at this. The Reds, I think the Reds and the Yankees, if I'm not mistaken, from what I heard the Cowboys say on the call 2 days ago, that only the Reds and the Yankees, the Reds and the Yankees have won more challenges than any other teams in baseball. Not bad. Not bad. So as far as the batter ABS challenge leaders are concerned, okay? Of the Reds, Eugenio Suarez is tied for first amongst batters with the ABS challenge leaders, as far as that's concerned. Eugenio Suarez has had 2 successful challenges. He is 2 for 2. He's 100% on the season every time. And Eugenio Suarez, the funny part about that is, if you guys remember, it was the same game. It was the same at bat. He won back-to-back challenges. Remember the double pat on the head? He won back-to-back challenges, and he has a 100% success rate. He's not the only Cincinnati Red to have a 100% success rate. Tyler Stevenson, the catcher for the Reds, he's 2 for 2 on the year as well. Will Benson is 2 for 2. Continuing to go down the list, as far as pitcher ABS challenges are concerned, there are no Cincinnati Reds that have popped up on that list. As far as the NL Central is concerned, you have multiple Pittsburgh Pirates on that list as well. There's some Met. I know they're not the Central, but Freddie Peralta for the Mets, he's right there tied at the top. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pitchers in Major League Baseball have a 100% success rate when it comes to challenges, as far as that's concerned. As far as the catcher position is concerned, we talked about it a little bit ago. Again, only catchers and the hitters and pitchers can challenge a ruling from an umpire. So amongst the catchers who have officially made an ABS challenge on the season, Dingler for Detroit has challenged 7 times, and he's won all 7 of his. JT Realmuto, I'm a big JT Realmuto fan. I know that the Reds had really looked into him years and years ago, on a few occasions. The catcher for the Phillies, he's 5 for 5 on the season. But as far as the Reds go, the Reds don't have anyone on the Tyler Stevenson. Tyler Stevenson is 2 for 2 as a hitter when challenging using the ABS system, but as a catcher, he's 2 for 3 as far as that's concerned. So there you go. But one more time, I'm looking at this right now. So some of these numbers have moved around a bit. The Diamondbacks are now. So now again, I think it was 2 or 3 games ago when I heard the Cowboy talk about this. That the Reds and the Yankees were the top 2 for the longest time. And I'm looking for the Reds on this list because they don't have them in order on this article that's out. So the Reds, they have now dropped to 3rd. They have won when their batters challenge using ABS, they win those challenges 73% of the time. When their catcher wins submits those challenges, they've won 50% of the time. And the Reds rank 3rd in all of baseball. They've won as a team. They have won 66, almost 67% of their challenges. That's good for 3rd in Major League Baseball. The Diamondbacks are ahead of them at number 1, and then coming in at number 2 on that list as I stall looking for number 2 because they don't rank these in chronological order is the Tigers. So the Diamondbacks have won 71% of their challenges. The Diamondbacks are number 1. The Tigers come in at number 2. They've won 69.6% of their challenges. And the Reds come in at number 3, winning 67% of their challenges as far as that goes. You want to know who's the worst in Major League Baseball when it comes to challenges and their success rate? It's the Cleveland Guardians. The Cleveland Guardians come in. They've won 30% of their challenges. They rank 30th in Major League Baseball. The Blue Jays come in at 29th, and the Nationals come in at 28th, 27th. I see the Giants at 26. That gives you a little bit of an idea about the success rate with the limited data that we have 10 games into the season for the ABS challenge system. So there you go. I'm Justin Kinner. It's the Justin Kinner Show, 1410 ESPN Radio, 937-518-1410. That's the number that you can call and jump in on the conversation. It's another hour, another opportunity to win $1,000. It's 4:47 here in the Miami Valley. We have about 13 minutes remaining. Every day until 5 o'clock, every hour, we give out a new winning word every weekday. When you hear that winning word, you text it to 937-518-1410, and that gives you a chance to win $1,000. So the winning word for this hour is gift, G-I-F-T. Text gift to 937-518-1410. Text gift to 937-518-1410 for your chance to win $1,000. And again, we'll continue to give you those keywords throughout the month of April. Every hour, a new word, of course. So just be keeping an eye or an ear out for those throughout the afternoon. We appreciate those who tune into the station all day. And I definitely appreciate those who give me the time of day and hang out with me each and every afternoon from 3 to 5 right here. I'm 1410 ESPN Radio. But yeah, gift is the winning word. 937-518-1410. Get that texted in to 937-518-1410 to give yourself a chance to win $1,000. We got Reds baseball tonight. I gave you the lineup a little bit ago. Reds looking to win their 2nd straight series. Again, it's the early stages of the season, but they're 7-3, 10 games in. They have series wins against the Boston Red Sox. They swept, of course, the Texas Rangers on the road. And now we're sitting here waiting to see if they can win their third series against the Marlins with the Game 2 win here tonight. 937-518-1410. Let's go to AJ. AJ, thanks for holding. You're on live, sir.
Hey, what's up, Justin?
Hey, man, not bad. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Hey, I'm glad to hear you're changing your tune a little bit from on the Reds from what you were singing last week.
Oh, I was pissed last week. I ain't gonna lie, I was fired up. That Pirates. It's one thing to lose to the Pirates, but they got embarrassed. I mean, you gave up 8 runs and only scored 3. They couldn't hit. They couldn't pitch. That was just a horrible series. I was in a bad mood heading into the weekend. I think that's that energy you're talking about.
Yeah, I could sense it. So, pitching looks amazing, doing great. I think with, fans that have followed the Reds for the past few seasons know that we got a great pitching staff. It's just getting everyone healthy and getting them together. And I think they're really starting to coalesce very well. The hitting is very concerning to me. These 2-run games, those are almost like 1-score games in the NFL, where eventually you're going to fall to the midway where you're going to end up losing half of these games. So my threshold is always, some people say 4th of July or, maybe around the All-Star break. I like to go a little bit earlier than that, where I really make a judgment on what the team is doing and how they're playing. So I usually use Flag Day as my threshold. Yep. So if we can keep this sustainable and, be right around 500, middle of June, maybe a few games ahead, I think that's really where I'm going to kind of, like I said, setting my threshold for making a judgment on the team.
No, I'm with you, and I always base it just off of the information that we have now. The Reds are fascinating. They're a very weird team statistically. AJ, I just read this a little bit ago. Look, the Brewers are 8-2. The Reds are 7-3. The Brewers are 8-2, and they have a +30 run differential. The Reds are 7-3, and they have a -2 run differential. Like, both of those are really impressive in their own. I mean, to be that bad offensively and just be a game below a team that has a +30 run differential. I mean, my goodness, the NL Central is it's an odd division. All the teams are just completely different from one another. I think I had a caller last week that compared the NL Central to the AFC North, where you get some divisions where all the teams kind of are similar. They're built the same, and it's just a heavyweight fight every night. The AFC North in football, not one team is built like the other, and it's the same thing in the Central. Every team is vastly different. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Yeah, so I hope they get I look forward to them getting the hitting together, but just what they're doing now at the plate is definitely not sustainable.
No, because they got to get. I mean, I do like the fact that TJ Friedel, had a big night last week. Hopefully that gets him back rolling. Tyler Stevenson's hitting the ball well again, hitting the ball to the ballpark. On top of that, that's the power. Him not hitting consistently for power is frustrating because he had a trajectory of being a very good power hitting catcher, and he just hasn't been that for the last couple of seasons. Hopefully he's going to turn that around. Obviously, you need more from Matt McClain. Suarez will be up and down, but you'll get his power numbers. Ellie's been fun to watch, and Sal Stewart. I mean, my goodness, we're not even truly able to enjoy Sal Stewart because of how bad everything has been around him.
Yeah, you just mentioned McClain. That's really my. I think it's all going to kind of hinge on him, to be honest with you. Yep. He really needs to get it together. If not, then it just kind of messes up the rest of the batting order. He's got it. He doesn't necessarily have to knock it out of the park. He just got to get on base.
Yep. And the pitching, though,
at this point.
The pitching's been phenomenal. I really love what we're seeing. I mean, Chase Burns is just – he's a special talent. And, we're sitting here talking about no Hunter Green, no Nick Lodolo, but he's phenomenal. And then Emilio Pagan being first in saves in baseball, I think that's – having him is such a key piece to how this team's going to continue to find ways to win moving forward.
Yep. I'm right there with you. So let's hold on until Flag Day, and then we'll make a judgment on what the team's looking like.
Sounds like a plan. AJ, you the man. Appreciate the call.
Later, Justin.
937-518-1410. That's the number to call and jump in on the conversation. Text gift. Remember, we have 7 minutes. All right, we're wrapping it up here this hour. You have 7 minutes to text the winning word to 937-518-1410. We're giving away $1,000 every weekday from now through the end of April. And for you to have a chance to win that $1,000, you have to be listening for that winning word. The winning word this hour is gift. Text gift to 937-518-1410. You have 7 minutes, now 6 minutes to get that word texted in. Gift, 937-518-1410. Keep that in mind as far as that goes. At that $20,000 we're giving away throughout the month of April, $1,000 every weekday from now through the end of the month. That could be yours. It's our ESPN Dayton spring payout. And we do multiple contests like that throughout the year as a thank you to our listeners. I mean, time is money, and you're giving us your time, and we want to give you some money. I wish my company would give me some money, but is what it is. But I want you to get that money. If I can't get it, I want you to get it. 937-518-1410, text gift. We're Dayton's radio home for Reds baseball. We have the Reds coming up later on tonight, 6:40, the first pitch with the 6:10 pregame. Andrew Abbott going to be on the mound. The Reds have won 4 straight, and they're looking to win their second straight series if they can win tonight in Game 2 against the Marlins. That wraps it up for us. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, everybody. Until tomorrow, it's been the Justin Kinner Show, Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.